Hey folks, this is Brian here. Welcome people that have been watching my videos, and welcome back, and new people that are watching this video because of the topic. Hopefully I've identified that this has to do with my tegus. I have two tegus. I have Sassy, which is over there by the camera, which I'm sure you'll see soon. She's a 2-year-old red female. And that is Mac. Mac is a 2-year-old black and white male. And I had to, main importance of this video, or the main reason for making it, is I had to come back in here in my they're so noisy, Tegu room. I had them for the winter in a smaller space, but and I was hoping to keep them in their cage that I built, a pen. I spent so much money, and I spent money, but I didn't go overboard. But there's money invested in that, and a lot of time. And they do not want to be in there. They wake up and they immediately want out. And that's minimally an 8 by 4.5. I mean, it's large. They don't want to be in there. Like I said, they wake up and they immediately are like, not today, Brian, we're getting out. And they do everything they can to get out, and they are miserable. They scratch for an hour, and I look in there and they're just looking up at me, and they're just like, we're getting out of here. And as they get bigger and develop more of their muscles, Sassy, just yesterday, I was in there, and Sassy had a more difficult time getting out. She was down on the ground, and I was cleaning and stuff, and I've got expensive bulbs in this setup. And Sassy looked up at me, and I looked over here to cleaning some dust off that, and she jumped from 3 feet up to about my stomach and jumped out onto me and was like, not today, I'm not staying in here. And I was like, holy cow, freaking jumping tegus. We've seen them jump before in previous videos of mine. But I never thought that a tegu could jump from the floor and spring up, up this high, just go bling and bounce up. That brings me to my next subject. These are my mice. That I just want to stress to people that watch my videos is, I'm even getting a little overwhelmed with these two tegus. As you can see, Mac is stalking Sassy now. They're over the top as far as time. I can't judge people on what they're doing and how they do it, but my tegus are insane when they're awake. They get up. Sassy gets up about 3, and Mac is trying to jump on Sassy and have sex with her, and he bites her by the neck. And it's not cool because he messes up her neck. So I'm going to pull them apart real quick. But Max, on his brain, is mating. Now he's 100%. He's only 2 years old, and I thought when they're 3, that's when they become sexually mature. So maybe at 2 they're becoming sexually interested still. Like little boys at 12, 13, and 14. But I came into the bathroom the other day, and I just had them in the water, and Mac had Sassy by the neck, was chomped down on her neck, on top of her, and just going to town. And his hemi penis wasn't out. I didn't think, or when I went in there, it wasn't out. But he was just going to town, and and I was like, no! And he had her by the neck, and I was like, oh, and Sassy had a stupid grin on her face. I could swear to you that Sassy was just sitting there with her head up in the air, just wiggling it from side to side, with a big grin on her face. I was like, no babies today. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But they're just so intensive. I had this ladder, or this ramp. It's not a ladder, it's a ramp, excuse me. This motorcycle ramp up in the room the other day, and I had it just straight up against the wall. And Mac was actually just climbing up to the ceiling, up this ramp. He can climb up this ramp vertically and was getting up to the top and falling off or jumping off and landing on the ground, and then it would do it again. I tried to get it on video, but as soon as you bring a camera into things, animals seem to be smart enough to know, and they stop what they're doing. They're like, you can't see this. This is not for you. And so I couldn't get it. I had to search for my camera. By that time, it was all done. But I had to bring them back here in this big room. This is the only thing that I can see that I can keep tegus. If I had to keep them in an 8x4, 8x5 cage, I probably would not be able to keep them. And that's what people need to be aware of when they get these, foot long or foot and a half long or 9 inches tegus. So quickly they develop into 2 foot, 3 foot, and soon 4 foot tegus, and they are so labor intensive. See, Mac is he's got tegu sex on the brain, and Sassy she's like, bring it on. They just chase each other around, and Sassy just flaunts it. But I don't know what we would do if we had babies, but I'd probably give them away, or just charge a shipping fee, and have to screen the people that get them and make sure that they're qualified to have them, because you just can't dish these out like candy to people and have them die down the road, or given up, or thrown into the forest, or just let out in the front yard. Bye-bye, can't take care of you anymore. But the room is really, I miss this room. It's cool because I'm traveling more, and I'm going to have to leave them in here for 3 or 4 days. Whereas the smaller room in there, they'll jump up on. I got another brand new UVB light that's $80, both of them, so $160 for 2 UVB lights. And the tegus will jump on those and smash them and scratch them all up. And I mean, they're as high as this table, if not a little bit higher. And when they're down in their cage, they just want to hang from them like a jungle gym or a circus trapeze. And it just sucks, man, because all my lights get broken, and I spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and everything gets damaged. So that brings me, tegus are very, very destructive. They climb on everything, and they scratch everything. I mean, everything in my house, if you get up close to the walls, this is not a super nice house, and everything has scratch marks. Everything they do, they get on and scratch everything, and it just tears up everything. They are so destructive. Here I have my Zoom-Ed, like I was saying, destructive. This is my Zoom-Ed panel that I'm so glad that I got, because they really do enjoy sitting on that, and it's pretty indestructible. It's the Zoom-Ed habitat heater, I think is what they refer to it, Zoom-Ed, and it's very safe, and it gets to about 101 in some spots and 105. Mac was actually sleeping on it last night, but they like their basking belly warmth platform there. And I just got some wood pieces, but this room is really going to be a lot better for them. Sit down without tearing up my shorts. Going to be a lot better for them because they just can roam around. Mac wakes up at 5 p.m. and I don't know why. His lights and things come on earlier, but he just wants to get up at 5 or 6, and then he's up till 10 or 11, and sometimes 12. And I have to entertain him. So I have to take him from room to room, because he can't walk around in my full house and just have open access, because I have insect repellent down on the floor, poison and things, and it would be terrible to have Matt get poisoning from that. So he can't walk through my house. So I have to babysit him. But when I do let him out, he'll walk up and down across the room for hours, and his little nails are tap tap on the wood floor, and it's hours and hours of him walking back and forth in a 30-foot, 40-foot, 50-foot space that he can walk down a room, a hallway, into another room and back. Can you imagine being stuck in a 8x4, 8x5, 9x6 cage, and being in there and being tortured when all you want to do is roam around and walk and climb and touch everything with your tongue, and climb on everything and just have a lizard life. So I don't think people really think ahead, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, 5, I mean, they're not going to really grow much bigger, and they're going to kind of be the way they are. So if you've gotten that far, you know what you're getting into. But man, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. If I didn't have this big room, and you don't have the money to build, 3, 4, 2 outdoor enclosures and 2 big monster, huge indoor enclosures. I mean, what do you do? I mean, you're punishing your Tegu. Literally, Mac gets very, very upset when he can't make his own decisions. He's like a cat. He wants to do what he wants to do, and be very independent, and just walk around and do everything he can on his terms. And Sassy's the same way. So I just think it's important to again make videos and point this out. I have wood in here. Here's a little red sasser. I have wood in here, pieces that kind of give them that feeling. I don't think Sassy and Mac need dirt. They don't appreciate the dirt and the substrate. They're just fine on carpet. And I mean, they don't dig a lot, but when they're digging, they're trying to get out of their cage and spreading it up and putting it in the air. I think they just fine. I mean, last year when I had them in this room, they really survived well and developed well and seemed to be really happy. So I brought everything out of the room. I had this kind of as a junk room. I took everything out, moved it into another room really close by, and I put the plastic down that I had before, and I put this outdoor carpet that's just sitting. And if they go poop on it while I'm gone for 3 or 4 days, then I can take the carpet up, take it out and wash it, but it's not going to go down into the carpet. And then they got the windows here that they enjoy, and that's Mac and Sassy's big hide that I built that the top comes off. If you haven't watched videos, I think I've got 60, 70, 80 Tegu videos that cover everything about these Tegus from little babies to now, and how I built their cages, and I built their boxes, their hide boxes, and diet and warmth and lights and pretty much everything under the sun to take care of Tegu. So tune in and watch some of those videos. At the end of my video, I'll put a link to the channel, their channel, because I have multiple interests, and go check out some of my videos if you're really interested in getting a Tegu and properly taking care of your Tegu baby, and then an adolescent, and then getting up to maturity. But that's everything I want to show you real quick. I've got a cinder block here. I've learned Mac and Sassy, or Mac is mostly wall sockets are a dangerous thing for Mac. He God forbid he puts his tongue in there, or climbs up and puts one of his claws in there and touches touches the part that sends electricity to you. So I got a cinder block, so the plug, because I have this plugged in right there, he loves to unplug the cords, climb on them and unplug the cords. So that's kind of like a baby-proof thing. Let me show you a little bit more about this room. Real quick, I'm just going to go zoom in on Sassy. They love to get up there and then transition up. Lots of exercise in a big room like this. Climbing up there, pulling themselves up. Most people have ladders, and Tegus are the last things that really need ladders. They need to exercise and work their muscles. I mean, I have this ramp here, and this is just a feature to give them some entertainment. They like to hear the sounds of their nails on things and climbing. That just gives them different options. So I'm not providing a ramp so that they can get up there, because they have no problem climbing up there and experimenting and climbing around. It just gives them so much entertainment to go somewhere that's different. They're really like dogs and cats. They really want to go and do and see different things. Mac is such a sweet Tegu, such a baby there. And my neighbor cut a tree down a couple of days ago, and I got a big cool log there that has a hole in it. So I grabbed that from him before they got thrown in the trash. And I just want to recap So the Sassy and Mac can walk all the way around this room and do laps for hours and hours. And that's what they do. Huge room. This is probably 30 feet by 17 feet. But I have a little basking light under there, a UVB light that just, in between two tables. And so they can get on that little plate right there and sunbathe if they want to for a little bit. And I think the light's good enough distance up where they don't really will have access to want to jump up and damage that light, because that's like a $45 mercury bulb in there. So the tables are there, and then the tables give me extra support for my mice. I have 2 pet mice that live with me until the day they pass away. They're great little mice. Let me remember their names. Okay, Honey and Ty. And I just love them too. They're sweet little pets. Little wheel and everything in there. They sleep a lot because they don't have anything to do, I guess, but be mice. And then too, here, my really cool little water feature. Used to be, I found out that that's a sand play sand type thing that you can buy, and I'm sure it's $200, $300, but it comes with play sand, a bunch of play sand, and it has a top that goes on it. But it's perfect for a water feature, and I fill it up with maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches of water, and I mean it is a chore to kind of empty that out into buckets and then refill it. But they love to go in there. Mac will walk in there every time he does a lap in the room. He walks across that, climbs in, climbs out, and does his laps around. And then they can get in there and drink if they want, and soak in it if they want. Let's see, Sassy might go in there right now. She's gonna check it out at least. You wanna go in, Sassy? But everything in here, I have that box and that tackle box, because they'll climb on that tackle box. It just gives them stimulation to climb across that, and then they'll climb up there on the box. And here comes Mac after Sassy. He's making a beeline. That's all they do, is they just walk around. They're on a mission. Let's see, Mac's gonna go in, I think. Show him, Mac. Go in. Not today, Dad. Not for the video. But Sassy will most likely go under that carpet, and I don't want that. Gosh. But I just don't have any way, because I don't have any more carpet. And but there's the 2 tables. Quick overview, just so y'all can see. I really like this setup. I mean, this is going to be really good for them to stay healthy, and I can leave them for 2 to 3 days and not worry about them. I've child-proofed this place the best I can. I don't think Mac will be interested in that Zoom Med timer there. I got that cord up out of the way, but it's just, I'm kind of pleased. It takes my worries off, because I can't take them with me everywhere I go and babysit them like I did this past week. And they'll get into trouble. They'll likely burn your house down, knock a lamp over, smash the bulb if they got out. And there's Max sniffing her and huffing and puffing. Hey, don't bite her. Hey, stop that. I know you want to, and you don't need. I'm gonna pick you up and take you down. Maxter, don't do that. Sassy's just so subservient. It's like, yeah, bite me, I don't care. Mac, don't do that. That's the video. Mac and Sassy, thank you for watching. And hopefully this was an informative video. That's all I want to do, is make informative videos and some entertainment value mixed in there. So look, there's Mac. He's doing it. He smells her. And then he latches onto her neck, scratches her, strokes her, huffs and puffs. Can Daddy come in? Yeah? Shake your head. Kind of humorous because when I tell him no to stop what he's doing, he listens for the most part. I mean, they are very similar to a little bit higher intelligent animals, you know. It's an amazing experience, but man, what a task to take care of tegus, and it's only going to get more and more as they both grow probably another foot. But Mac and Sassy get along so well. I just don't want to have to care for babies or destroy babies or do the shipping and finding home of babies. So hopefully we just avoid that hassle, and I'm sure it would be fun having them, but no more pet reptiles. I'm just going to show you their pen that I built. This huge pen takes up an entire room. It does have an open top. I could put a top on it, but they'd still just be miserable inside this big enclosure. I've got their new setup, the twin US or UVB lights. I'm about to say USB. Those, $80 a piece, and I had multiple lights up there. There's their 250 watt GE bulb that gives them a lot of heat. And all that work I did, and those rocks that I brought from other states, and their moss, such a great enclosure in the peat moss, and like the 10 different kinds of dirt that I have collected over the years, 2 years that I've had them. There's the top, a really great enclosure setup, but it's just they're miserable in there. They're so unhappy. If they had to stay in this kennel, they would be miserable, and they would probably become unhealthy and mentally unhealthy, physically unhealthy too, and just PO'd lizards, and lose muscle mass and not be active. And I just don't want to do that to them. So they've got to have the much bigger space of that room that they're going to really enjoy. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Comment if you want to ask some questions or share your experience with your tegus and what you're doing. Love people commenting and me interacting with you through conversation. All right, bye-bye.